Tony D and Little Joan with Screenwriter's Rant on Not Another Church Movie, a comedy movie starring Jamie Foxx, Mickey Rourke, and a cast of characters about a guy who's told by God to become a writer. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The link's in the description. Comedy Heart in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 14, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I like this bit. It got some good bits, I'll say. From the producers who had nothing to do with, it lists a bunch of movies that this would connect with their audience. It's a black cast, so it's a black comedy movie, you would say. It doesn't really seem like a church movie. It seems like a Tyler Perry movie, but it's not. But the lead plays like several characters, and then there's a bunch of other characters in it and various cameos. I kind of like the energy of it, but the jokes aren't really landing. I mean, they've kind of been done. Tisha Campbell from the Martin Lawrence TV show. Mickey Rourke as the devil's kind of funny. And it looks a little cheap. Nice of Jamie Foxx and some of the others to, support this guy who's doing drag. But it's not. It needed some better comedy writing, I think, doggy. Yeah, I think it needed better comedy writing. You could argue like, well, it's not really aimed at you. That's true, but some of these jokes have been done before. I mean, the drag, totally been done before. Not super funny. It's okay sometimes if you really go over the top. Like, Tyler Perry did it for so long, he kind of got good at it, and that's what kind of made it funny later. This guy, he's in a dress and a wig. His manic energy is okay, but it's not totally carrying me through the movie. Like, Jamie Foxx has better manic energy in this level. I guess he's a pastor and a lawyer, maybe? Or he's a pastor that got divorced. So the plot is kind of all over the place. They show a bunch of bits with a bunch of different characters. For a movie like this, I would say you need a nice, simple plot. Now, the plot's not super crucial in a comedy movie, but you want to have one. Like, you want to have one that just is, he's got to save the church. That's nice and simple, right? Like the Blues Brothers. They're trying to save the orphanage. Like, he's trying to save his church. Simple. And then the whole movie is centered around that. And then if you go off on various tangents to do comedy bits, that's fine. But as long as it comes back to how he saves the church and he saves it in some funny way, there, you're good. Maybe that's the plot, but they're just showing me like scenes from the movie. It's kind of too disjointed to really tell you what even the through line is. I think he's getting divorced. So I think the first act, he's getting divorced and he's a pastor at a church, maybe, or a lawyer. I can't tell. And he gets hosed at the divorce, but then God appears to him and tells him to become a writer. So, what does he write? I don't know. This movie, I'm guessing. And then, they make the movie. I guess. Look, I don't think they had the money to do Blues Brothers level of stuff. I mean, some of the shots or the effects with like Mickey Rourke on the TV they don't look great. They look a little artificial, but you can forgive that on a comedy if the comedy lands hard. And I think when you have Mickey Rourke in your movie and you're going to put him in the trailer, you need to put him in a close-up, right? And if he's playing the devil, it needs to be Mickey Rourke as the devil. Ha 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 ha. He just laughs. Yeah, I'm the devil, or something like that. They kind of give that to Jamie Foxx as, I think, God. I think he's God. But beyond that, there's not a lot here, it seems. Just a bunch of disjointed scenes with frantic energy that's not focused on anything. See, like, if he's losing the church because of his divorce, maybe? Even though that's not particularly realistic, like, it wasn't realistic in The Simpsons when The Simpsons sued the church and then moved into the church, right? that would never happen, and then in the end, they get the church back, and, like, but it was to facilitate the comedy, and the comedy in that episode was about Homer going too far, being too blasphemous, taking his sort of problems with the church and God and taking it too far. You could do something similar here, or you could do something like, I don't know what this is satirizing. If it's going to satirize church life, it should probably be more about the people in the church and the pastors in it too, and it should be kind of an ensemble. I think there's elements of that there, but then what's the through line then? Is church life good? Is it hypocritical? Is it, what is it? And that drives the comedy. So if it's the idea that everybody who goes to church goes to get anything else out of it other than God, that's a good through line, right? Because then at the end, they could come to terms with that and say, you know what? We have to get back to our faith. This is supposed to be about faith, and we made it about everything else, and that's not what God's about. And then at the end, they come back to the church, and it's all happy, and maybe there's still some quirky characters, but you could do a lot with that concept, I think. But you need one kind of through line concept, and you need to sort of, if it's not another church movie, like not another scary movie kind of thing, like scary movies are send-ups of horror, then you're going to have to parody every single church movie, but they're not popular enough, in my view, that that's really going to work. Some of it might. I mean, for your audience, I assume they've seen probably some Tyler Perry, because they're pretty popular with a black audience. After that, maybe the Martin Lawrence fat suit movies. There's a little bit of that in there, and the Eddie Murphy professor movies, kind of. But you got to take it to the next level then. Like, if you're going to make a parody of, say, the fat suit movies, then you probably want to see every other character who's fat be this guy in yet a different version of the characters, right? Eddie Murphy kind of took it that far when it was meet the family of the, I forget the name, it was like the Grumps or the Flumps or whatever. So he took it to the next level. He met the whole family. They were all fat, and he was wearing like a bunch of different fat suits. Maybe you take it sort of to that level. Like wherever he goes, there's another guy. He's super fat. Really played by him. And, maybe the running gag is he has a lot of relatives in town. And they're all super fat. And he's the thinnest one. Something like that. You can't just do it, right? You can't just do it and say, oh, we're going to do that too. You have to bring something else to the table. It has to be like, oh, like every other scene, they're going to a funeral because these fat characters keep having heart attacks and dying. Something. Something has to send up these tropes in this particular subgenre of movie. And I'm not really seeing much of that here. It's good you got Mickey Rourke and Jamie Foxx, because now I can put that in the, in my video analysis. It gets people to see the trailer more. And I'll say it has good energy. I want to like this movie. I want it to be good. Maybe it'll be a minor hit amongst the crowd that it's aimed at, or at least do okay. Because I don't think they spent a lot of money in the movie, so I don't think it would have to do super well. Maybe it hangs on for a month in the movie theaters and makes good bank, right? Maybe it only costs a couple of mil. It makes $5 million, and then he gets another movie and kick up his game. But I think I would say he needs a better screenwriter. He needs some punchy jokes in this, pointed jokes that all go down kind of the same general direction, so it builds to a satisfying conclusion and then a big comedy moment at the end. So, if he's going to be pushed into writing by God, then the question is, one, did he really see God, or did he just really want to become a writer? Or two, did God have an actual plan? And what was that plan? And did it really involve helping him, or did it involve something else? So his plan was for him to become a writer, but God had plans for another guy to become the best writer. And he's in God's plan, but his plan, it wasn't for him. It was him to help the other guy. And then maybe through that he learns the true value of helping others or something. First he's mad, but then he realizes that, he learned a lot, or, he did try something he always wanted to do. He discovered something about himself. People like him better now, something like that. So, but I got to hand it to him. He got a ton of cameos in this. Ton of cameos. And someone let him shoot at a very nice house. Yeah, that's a pretty nice spread. So, from Briarcliff Entertainment. So, yeah, third act, he wins at the end. Let's read the write-up. It follows Tyler Ferry, Harry, who has been given a mission from God himself to tell his family stories and inspire his community. What he doesn't know is that the devil has plans of his own. That's in there. It doesn't seem the focus of the trailer, though, and it really should be. It should be more focused towards that, if that's the... they make a joke about his name, Taylor Ferry. It's supposed to be Tyler Perry. And then they make a joke about in the courtroom where he's presiding over a case, and they say, oh, the P is silent. Oh, his P doesn't work, Your Honor. That's not a great joke. That's, and not for an adult to make. If a kid made it, you'd kind of almost laugh at it, because it's a kid making it, undermining the adult. But, it doesn't really land. And it makes the court proceedings seem not serious. And again, you want certain things should be serious in a movie so the comedy works. If the courtroom is ridiculous, and that's one of the early scenes in the movie, it kind of undermines the rest of the movie. If you're going to start with a ridiculous courtroom scene, you have to be at airplane levels of comedy. Airplane, you can do that, right? You could start ridiculous, because the whole movie will be just increasingly ridiculous as you go along. And in actuality, the airplane movies kind of start semi-serious. You want to start semi-serious or neutral and build. So I wish him well. I don't know. Maybe all the bits that didn't get in the trailer are funny. I want to like it, but it's kind of not hitting for me. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take, I say, take it. I will be at the Burlington County Book Fest at the Burlington County Library on Saturday from 10 to 3, and then the Cumberland County Historical Society in Greenwich, New Jersey at 5. That's all on Saturday. And then the Book Trader in Hamilton, New Jersey on Sunday from 11 to 3. Hope to see you there. See you in the next one.